Time now for a check of what's happening in the world of business. Our business editor, Kate Moody, is here. Hi there, Kate.
Hi, Tom.
Now, a lot of countries, we've been talking about this in the news, have suspended the use of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, but it seems that other companies are waiting in the wings.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing more coordination, more cooperation from these companies that are traditionally rivals. Johnson & Johnson has today signed an agreement with another European facility, which will now help produce its single-dose vaccine at a faster rate. The German-based manufacturer IDT Biologica has been contracted to Japan's Takeda Pharmaceuticals for non-COVID treatments. Its site in Dessau, Germany, will instead start spending at least 3 months producing that Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine, which was approved here in Europe last week. The American giant had warned there could be a delay in getting its supplies shipped to Europe. To help speed up the process, Merck and Sanofi have also reached deals to produce vaccines developed by their rivals. Meanwhile, the European Union is reportedly trying to iron out some of the kinks in the domestic production of vaccines. A shortage of large plastic bags, which are used to mix ingredients in bioreactors, has been identified as a significant bottleneck for EU pharmaceutical companies. The Financial Times reports that EU officials are in discussions with companies, including Merck, to step up the production of such raw materials and reduce their reliance on foreign suppliers. Well, pharmaceutical companies may hold the key to ending the pandemic, but how much do they stand to make from their vaccines? Luke Schrago has more.
A year into the coronavirus pandemic, public pressure is on to keep pharma prices down. Both Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca have pledged to sell their vaccines at cost rather than for profit, at least as long as the pandemic endures. And Pfizer too, while keeping an eye on investor concerns, is still offering its product for less than certain other competitors, who themselves have shelved much of their typical rivalry to confront the danger to public health.
Pfizer is not making an extreme high margin. Actually, the investors were criticizing that it's not as high as we're expecting. It is in the 20s.
Pfizer and BioNTech still stand to make around 12.5 billion euros from vaccine sales this year. However, it's long been known that the real money in pharma lies not in vaccines, but in treating chronic and long-term conditions. And that means future profits will depend on the nature of the pandemic itself and how the coronavirus evolves.
Out of abundance of precaution, we started already making a vaccine based on the South African variant. And we don't know whether we'll need it, but if it's needed, it's on the way.
Ultimately, it's not so much the vaccines themselves, but the way they've been designed. Pharma firms may be sharing information over the coronavirus, and in some cases even producing rivals' vaccines, but they all hold patents over the technology behind how their own shots work. Tech that's made leaps and bounds over the past year, and that can and will be used in other, more profitable applications.
Let's check in on the day's trading action now. A mixed, fairly muted close for the major European indices. Stocks in Milan alone just above the flat line there. Shares of AstraZeneca were flat as well, despite that wave against its new vaccine. The value of the pound sterling, meanwhile, dropped as the EU launched legal action against the UK over unilateral changes made to its Brexit agreement. Shares of Danone rose nearly 3% after its CEO and chairman Emmanuel Faber was ousted following complaints from activist shareholders. He'll be replaced as chairman by the recently appointed director Gilles Schnapp. A new chief executive, though, has yet to be confirmed. The French food, drink and yogurt giant saw its share price drop by nearly a third last year. Wall Street's also taking a bit of a breather, although stocks are hovering near record highs there. The Nasdaq pushing up about 0.6% this hour. Travel stocks are outperforming. American and United Airlines up about 7 and 8% respectively, as the U.S. saw its highest level of air travel in a year this past weekend. A rather promising sign for anyone who misses getting on a plane, Tom.
Yeah, and I'm one of them. Thank you very much indeed, Kate Moody, our business editor. Thanks for that.